Hey everybody, and welcome back to Pictures Up. As a YouTuber with a film-centric channel, there is one question I get asked more often than anything else. That question is, what gear do you use? What camera do you use? What microphone do you use? Some variation of that. My strategy thus far has been to kind of like individually reply to all of these comments, but I figured since I've been asked this so many times, I might as well just sit here and tell you. So today what we're going to be doing is speed running all of the gear that I use. I have it all pretty much in the room here with me, and we are just going to zoom through all of this gear. So first off, let's start with like the most common thing that I'm asked, camera. The camera I use for my short films and for these videos is a Lumix GH5. For behind the scenes videos, I use a Canon T7i, seen right here. And I'm gonna use the Canon T7i to show you the Lumix GH5. Now I switched to Lumix for my main camera despite the fact that all of my other cameras are Canon cameras. And so in lieu of having to buy new lenses for this camera, I just bought an adapter where you can attach Canon EOS lenses to the Lumix GH5. The lens that's currently on the Lumix is one of the like kit lenses that came with one of my Canon cameras. I believe that it's an 18 to 55 millimeter. I use that lens on that camera because it's a wider angle. For movies though, since I've bought this camera, I tend to use this much bulkier Canon lens. This is a 24 to 105. I find it to be a bit more cinematic, whereas these wider angle lenses are a little bit better for YouTube videos. Let's talk sound. For the behind the scenes camera, the Canon T7i here, I typically attach the Rode VIDEOMIC Pro. This is kind of the mic I use for anything that I'm doing on the go. When it's connected to the camera, it turns on automatically when the camera is turned on, which is very helpful. You don't have to really worry about sound or really make a conscious effort towards sound, which if you're recording vlog or behind the scenes type content, that's a pretty valuable thing. Also, great sound quality, good shotgun mic, very directional, good noise cancellation. Rode is kind of like industry standard for that type of microphone, so that's sort of unsurprising, but this mic does a fantastic job for me. Typically for behind the scenes or vlog stuff, I use the Joby GorillaPod. I believe this is the 3K. I'm hoping to upgrade to the 5K because this even sometimes gets a little bit like imbalanced. The camera's a bit heavy for the 3K, so I'm hoping to upgrade my GorillaPod soon, but this works fine. This right here is the book bag that I take with me to everything that I go film. I take this to short film sets, I take this when I go to film a wedding or a client video, anything like that. When I take it on the go, there tends to be a lot more stuff in it than there currently is right now. As you can see, there's currently not that much stuff in here. There's this lens that I just talked about a second ago, wind cover for the microphone, and this, and yeah, not much else in here. This is the brand that the bag is from. So next up, we're gonna talk pretty quick about light. These are the panel lights I use from GVM, great video maker. They come with these cords. I'm currently using them to film this video. I keep one of them in my room kind of like by default. Also, these don't come with the panels, but I keep them in the same bag that the panels came in. These are ice lights. I don't really know why you call them that. It's essentially a wand light. It can do kind of the same thing that these RGB panels can do, wide range of colors, and then also just regular white light. It's also got this orange filter on it, so if you ever need to do firelight or anything like that, you could just put this over the white light. These things are great. Use them for a little while. The folks over at Sozo Bear Films actually exposed me to these, and I got them, and I've been using them since. We'll talk real quick about this stabilizer. This is a Ronin S gimbal stabilizer. It's not on right now, so it doesn't necessarily look that impressive, but this thing is fantastic. I've yet to use it on a short film, which is surprising, but I've used it for wedding videos and more like client type stuff. But the Ronin S is a fantastic gimbal stabilizer and makes for some really, really cool, beautiful shots. Real quick, I'd like to talk about this little guy, this little viewfinder fella. Basically what you do is you take this thing and you stick it onto the screen of your camera. It magnifies it to be about 3 times larger, and I can look through this. It's especially helpful when it's daytime outside and it's like way too bright to even see your screen. It provides you with a good bit of shadow and you can look right through it. Let's see, what's next? Okay, so next it's time to bust open the big box. One day, like a couple months ago, I made like a whole project out of organizing this thing. Look at that. Isn't the organization great? Very, very Casey Neistat. This is a shoulder mount. I don't want to take it out of the box because it's a pain in the ass to put together and everything, but you get the idea. This is where I would usually keep small tripods, as in small tripods like the one that I'm currently using. We got plenty of gaff tape. That's a must-have. We got a slate slash clapboard here. Very important, of course. These are the chargers for the batteries that these lights use. It's the same type of battery, actually, that the ice lights use. This is where my GoPro is. I truthfully don't use my GoPro that frequently, and I wish I did use it more frequently because I really like using it. I mean, it's a fantastic little camera that serves its purpose very well. I've got a GoPro Black 7. Obviously, very, very very good action camera. I've got this box, which is full of accessories and mounts, as it says on the side right there. This is a lot of stuff, a lot of like iPhone mounts, stuff like that, right? I've also got some lavalier mics that I haven't used in so long that I'm not even sure if they work with like the type of camera I'm using right now. Selfie stick also could be used as a boom pole if you feel like it. This is a remote shutter. You can, you know, take a picture from afar. These are some filters to go over your lens. I believe these go with the Canon T7i type of lens. This is, oh man, memories. This is a vertical camera mount. This is what we used on Out for Delivery in the Out for Delivery behind the scenes video. Basically, instead of screwing the camera just like straight onto the tripod, you screw the tripod into here, screw the camera into here, and it holds your camera sideways. And a whole lot of cleaning stuff. My girlfriend Zoe's mom got me all these lens wipes one year as part of like a Christmas present. So thanks, Kathy. Oh, this thing is a piece of shit. It didn't really work for me, at least. The Rode VideoMic Me L. This actually is an L from Rode, rare L. Rode is usually pretty reliable for W's, but this is an L. Actually, though, it is called the Rode VideoMic Me L, and you would plug this into your phone using the lightning jack, and it would record audio. It didn't really work for me. There was always like a lot of really bad handling noise with this thing. It would fall out, not too uncommonly, so this thing didn't really work for me. Anyway, this is a reflector. You use this gold side here for a warm reflection. Less warm reflection, you would use the white side. If you unzip this thing around it, there's also a silver in here, and black if you just want to block light, and also a translucent diffuser in here. You would use that to make light look a lot softer. In a similar vein to the pop-out diffuser, I also have a pop-out green screen, although I never even like try to collapse it because it's so difficult to collapse that stupid thing. So instead I just leave it like that and put it at the back of my closet. Also it has stands, but they're over in the storage room. This is what the stands look like. I've also got telephoto, like zoom lenses like this one, which is currently mounted to this camera, which I consider my first movie camera. By that I mean it was my first like DSLR with manual control. This is what I shot my film You Know She Likes You on. This camera is not great. It shoots at like a maximum frame rate of 20, the standard being 24. Some people even like to go all the way up to 30 or 60. And this thing maxes out at 20 frames per second, and 720 is the resolution on this thing that you get. I learned some good things about filmmaking and working with manual controls from it, but this camera is not so great for filmmaking. It's the Canon T1i. While we're on the topic of like old cameras that I don't use all that often anymore, might as well talk about this. This is my first YouTube camera, circa 2019. I don't even think this thing turns on anymore. More of these batteries that power the ice lights and the panel lights. This is what they look like. Oh, and actually there is one more thing that very notably is powered by that type of battery. This thing is so sick. It's like this 4 or 5 foot slider, but what makes it cool is that it's got like a motor on it, which when powered makes this thing move at like a given speed. You can mount it to a tripod. It's got a number of threads across it that you can use to mount this thing. Usually you would mount it to 2 tripods, one over here, one over here. God, I love this thing. I gotta use this more often. I love this thing. And you can control the whole thing with this remote control, which is also where your battery attaches. Very sweet. So we've got these handheld microphones. Back when Pictures Up was like a movie review channel, I would use these pretty regularly. Fairly simple handheld microphone, a lot like what you would use on stage or something. I also have a pack of microphone covers like this one, but I haven't used these things in a minute. I probably should at some point. Alright, this one. This is the car mount that I used in Out for Delivery to mount the camera to the front of my car. I haven't used it since. It's basically like a suction cup based system. You use these suction cups and you stick a camera to the front of your car and then you drive. As I mentioned in that behind the scenes video, a terrifying experience if you're super emotionally attached to your camera or super financially attached to your camera. I'm both of those things. Okay, so we're down to the 2 most recent additions to my gear collection here. Both of these were Christmas presents. We're gonna start out with the Zoom H8. The Zoom H8 here, look at that. It's a pretty advanced multi-track sound recorder. It gives you the ability to plug in some headphones and monitor and change your levels on each microphone. You can record on the sound recorder's mic that it comes with, or attach a mic here, or 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 all of the above. And I haven't really used this thing in a video or anything yet, but I'm very excited to, and I will be doing that very soon. Let's put this back, and then let's talk about the drone. For Christmas, I got a DJI Mini 2. And when they say mini, they mean that. Look at this thing. This is an absolutely tiny drone. You flip out its little wings here. Micro SD card goes in the back. There's the spot for the battery right here, and this thing shoots very, very stable, very high quality 4K video. It can fly up so far and fly out so far. I have flown over a mile away from where I started with this thing, which is just wild considering the size and the price range, and also the quality of video that this thing is able to produce. Needless to say, I love the DJI Mini 2. Here's the controller. I've had 2 drones before, but neither of them compare. Let me show you. This was my first drone. My grandparents got it for me. I was not doing much like serious videography at the time. It's not a very serious videography drone. That one's a good bit closer to a toy than anything else. Very lightweight build. Cannot go very far. Doesn't record very high quality video. Same goes for this one, which is perhaps a little bit better. And it's got stickers on it from my theater kit era, but not the best drone. It's about time that I stop talking. I'm clearly extremely lucky. Not everybody has parents and grandparents and relatives who are willing and able to help fund a passion like this. The stuff that I'm surrounded with is basically just like every Christmas and birthday gift that I've gotten since I was like 12 years old. And the things that weren't direct gifts were, for the most part, bought in part using birthday money. Again, I'm so lucky to have so many people in my life who are willing and able to help me fund this passion that I have. I don't want to do a video all like this and then sit here and be like, yeah, but gear doesn't matter, but that's kind of what I'm about to do. If I look back on the stuff that I was making while I had, you know, like this camera or this camera, the main differences aren't the gear. The main differences are implementation and usage, you know? You don't have to have all of this stuff or any of this stuff really to be good at what you're doing. While this stuff is very nice and has been great for me to collect over the years and helpful for me to grow as a filmmaker, my main growth has come from technique and learning the technical skills, learning how to make movies, not just, you know, buying stuff that'll make better movies for you, because it doesn't work that way. If you gave me all of this gear when I was 12 years old, I still wouldn't be making very good stuff because I wouldn't know what to do with any of it. So I guess where this is going is, if you want to make movies, use what you have. Don't worry about any of this stuff. If you get to a point where you're able to get some of this stuff and you want to, then that's absolutely cool, but you don't need any of it. I know how that sounds after I spent an entire video explaining all of it to you, but I really mean that. Anyway, yeah. I'm gonna go. I'll see you in the next video. Until then, I'm Sam Morgan, and this is Pictures Up.